Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. We're going to be talking about every movie and show I watched last week, and really, I had one theme and one theme only for the week, and that was the X-Men, which worked out perfectly because some of the X-Men cast was announced at D23 this week as well. There had just been a lot of rumors about the X-Men, and I just wanted to rewatch them before Doomsday this year, even before concretely seeing any trailer. This was always my plan to do it sometime this summer. Just so happened to work out that it was this week, and it kind of worked out perfectly. So, before we actually get into the theme of the X Men, we're going to talk about the two movies that I did not, or that I watched that are not a part of this X Men watch or X Men week, which both were watched with Mel. And let's start it off with Camp Rock 3. So, Camp Rock 3, of course, a new movie, Disney Channel original. I thought it was decent, definitely compared to some of the more recent Disney Channel originals. It's not that bad. I think it's decent. It has its moments. The music is okay, especially since Mel and I just watched Descendants 5 last week or 2 weeks ago. This is definitely better than that. And yeah, I mean, it's my least favorite of the trilogy. I'm sure that most people would probably say that, but yeah, I mean, it's totally a decent movie. Let's move on to 51st Dates, which I ranked a 77 out of 100. I quite enjoyed it. Mel and I are both really big Adam Sandler fans, and literally, I don't think there's a single movie that either of us have watched that we actually have not enjoyed of his. So that's pretty interesting now that I think about it. But yeah, we pretty much love everything he's in, at least so far. And one of our goals for the year was to go through his filmography, and we've done a pretty decent amount, but not a whole lot. So we're still working our way through it. Nonetheless, first time watch for me. I've never watched this movie, and I really enjoyed it. Thought it was quite cute. On the verge of tears a couple of times, but more so when Mel and I actually talked about the movie at the end of it, which we were both kind of emotional. So yeah, thought it was a good movie. Rank it a 77 out of 100. Now let's get into the X-Men theme for the week. Starting it off with the one and only season of TV that I watched, which is season 1 of X-Men 97. I'm almost done season 2. I'm very close to finishing season 2. I think I only have 2 or 3 episodes left. Just didn't get a chance to finish it this week, but yeah, season 1, I enjoyed it. I ranked it an 85 out of 100. I think it's a great season. There's a lot to enjoy throughout this first season. There's lots of aura farming, character moments, and I feel like a lot of characters actually get to shine within this, which was really nice. Which we didn't really get to see a whole lot of in some of the X Men movies. It was kind of much more focused on a handful of characters, where quite a few characters got their moment to shine in this first season and so far in the second season as well. So I'm very happy with that. This is kind of like known as one of the most comic accurate examples of the X-Men as well. So it's quite quirky, it's quite weird, and it's quite unique. And I love that as well. I love the X-Men. They're my favorite team or family in Marvel and, well, even in comics, I'll say. So yeah, I love the X-Men very, very much. And yeah, ranked it an 85 out of 100. So let's get into the movies. Let's start it off with my least favorite, which is The New Mutants, which I ranked a 40 out of 100. Honestly, I don't hate it. I honestly barely even think it's a bad movie. It's just not good. It's totally okay. There's a couple of things I don't really care for. It just seems like a really low budget horror thriller movie. I don't know. It's not fantastic by any means. It's totally okay. Ranked at a 40 out of 100. Which brings us to my second least favorite, which is Dark Phoenix, which I ranked a 45 out of 100. So it's a 2 star, just barely gets that 2.5, or sorry, 2.5. I meant to say, just barely gets that 2.5 stars. Again, it's okay. I don't hate this movie. I never have, although this is only the second time I've watched it. I really don't care for the villain. It's probably my least favorite villain in any of the X-Men movies. The aliens, Vuk, or however you pronounce it. Just not a fan. But there's some good moments in this as well, and I enjoyed it. Um, Yeah, I mean, there's some moments to enjoy. There's some stuff I don't enjoy. It is what it is. Hans Zimmer does some heavy lifting to carry this a little bit, but yeah, 45 out of 100. And let's move on to X Men Origins Wolverine, which I ranked a 56 out of 100. I still wish the X Men, or well, I guess the Origins portion of the X Men had have had more films. They could have done many other films. I know Dark Phoenix is technically an origin film, but it is like after Days of Future Past, technically. Um, and I wish we would have, I don't know. I just wish we could have got more origin films. Maybe I don't know, characters that we didn't see originally that you could add to this list, or we'd seen like a young Scott, we'd seen a young Jean, we'd seen a young Storm, but maybe we could have got other characters in that as well. Who knows? It is what it is, I guess. I ranked this a 56 out of 100, and it was my 400th movie of the year. Shout out Wolverine. I also think this is like low key the best hair Hugh Jackman has in any of these movies as well. He looks fantastic. So 56 out of 100. Let's move on to X Men The Last Stand, which is my least favorite of the original trilogy. It's always been my least favorite of the original trilogy, although Magneto is aura farming in this, and Magneto is my favorite X Men. Always has been, probably always will be. Um, can't wait to hear that casting. But yeah, ranked it a 64 out of 100. I think previously I ranked it at like a 68 or 69. So it's gone down a little bit, but I think it's a decent end to the trilogy. Really, my biggest gripe with that trilogy is Jean. I just don't like Jean Grey very much, at least not in the movies. Honestly, I can quite confidently say Sadie Sink is already my favorite of the Jean Grey actresses and portrayals of Jean Grey, even though we haven't really seen her do a whole lot. I just not really a fan of the original Famke Janssen. I don't know how to pronounce her name, and Sophie Turner. Both of them I don't really love in the role, but it is what it is. Ranked at a 64 out of 100. Now let's move on to Deadpool, which people love Deadpool, especially this first movie. I think it's overrated. I think it's the worst of the trilogy. I think it's a decent movie. I think it's kind of funny. A pretty bad villain that I'm not interested in at all. Um, yeah, I don't know. Here's what it is: 66 out of 100. Let's move on to X Men Apocalypse, which I have ranked a 68 out of 100. Um, if it weren't for like hype moments and aura in this movie, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as I do. Specifically, Magneto, very awesome in this movie. Quicksilver, of course, as well, but a lot of heavy lifting there. If Magneto wasn't so powerful and wasn't so cool, I probably wouldn't like this as much as I do, and I ranked it a 68 out of 100. And just 1 point above that, we have Deadpool 2 at a 69 out of 100. I've always enjoyed Deadpool 2 more than the first one. I think it's a decent movie as well. I think it's funnier. I think it's just more entertaining, truthfully. Although it's crazy that the first time I ever watched this movie, I ranked it a 92 out of 100. It then got lowered a couple years ago to an 82 out of 100 and now down to a 69 out of 100. So it's gone down a lot over the past few years. And every watch I've watched this, it's gone down a significant amount. So maybe will I watch it again in a couple of years and it'll go down again? Possibly, hopefully not, but it is what it is. 69 out of 100, which brings us to where it all starts with the X Men, or just X Men, I guess, which I have ranked a 71 out of 100. When I showed Mel the X Men movies a couple of years ago, we watched this together. Obviously, we started with this. I ranked it, I think, a 69 out of 100, a 3 star. It's now back up to a 3.5, which I enjoy this movie. I enjoy this movie. It's good. It really. I'd seen one of the most popular reviews on Letterboxd for this is that X Men walked so Spider Man could run, and it's really very true. Like this is really, in my opinion, the start of like good live action superhero films, at least Marvel, and especially in like this century, this decade, or the past couple decades, I guess. But yeah, shout out to the X Men. It's a good movie, man. It's a good movie. It's enjoyable, and Magneto's the GOAT. So let's move on to the Wolverine, which I ranked a 73 out of 100. When I first watched this movie, I ranked it a 4 star. I had rewatched it. I ranked it a 3.5 star. When I showed Mel a couple years ago, ranked it a 2.5 star. And now this year, it's back up to a 3.5 star and a 73 out of 100. The aesthetic of Wolverine in Japan is kind of a vibe. It's really interesting, to be honest. I quite enjoy it. Really, the biggest problem with this movie is that final battle. I just don't like that. Everything leading up to it is awesome. Plus, one of my favorite scores from a Marvel movie is in this movie, which is Abduction. I love that shit. It sometimes just auto plays when I turn on my car. So, anyways, I don't know. This movie changes, or my opinion on this movie changes every time I watch it. That could keep happening. Who knows? I ranked it a 73 out of 100. Let's move on to, I think, the top five. Yeah, the top five now. And this is definitely the point where I'd say I love all of these movies. Starting it off with X2, which I would say at one point was probably my third favorite X-Men movie. No longer. It is obviously number five. Ranked it an 84 out of 100. I believe a couple years ago I ranked it an 82. So it went back up. But yeah, I love this movie. This opening scene with Nightcrawler is probably one of the best opening scenes we have in this franchise. Probably number two, I would say. And it's interesting. It's good. I love the talks that we are getting within this original trilogy of the X-Men and how they are affecting society and how they fit into society. I really love that. And I hope we get to see that in the MCU as well. Ranked it an 84 out of 100. It's really great. Let's move on to X-Men First Class, which is one of the most gay movies ever. It really, really is. Shout out Charrick. Charles and Eric together in this movie. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender have so much chemistry together as friends or more. But I love them. I love them in this movie. I love First Class. It's so good. CGI is a little wonky at times. It kind of takes me out of it at times, but overall, this is a really enjoyable and fun movie from start to finish. I love the First Class that we have here as well. It's a lot of fun. And again, Magneto is fucking awesome. 87 out of 100. And let's move on to the top three, starting it off with Deadpool and Wolverine. And every single time I watch this movie, I've ranked it a 4.5 star. This is my fifth time watching it. I really enjoy this movie. I don't think that's going to change. Ranked it a 91 out of 100. I love the cameos. I love the music within. The soundtrack is one of my favorites of this decade, probably. It's filled to the brim with fun moments and funny jokes that I still laugh at 5 times watching it over the past couple of years. And yeah, it's one of my favorite MCU movies. It's my favorite Deadpool movie, and I ranked it a 91 out of 100. Now let's move on to two movies that I have 5 star. Both of them at one point or another I had ranked a 100 out of 100. But in second place we have Logan, which I have a 98 out of 100. One of my favorite Hugh Jackman movies. Obviously, one of my favorite X-Men movies. One of my favorite Marvel movies. I love Logan very much. It's a great Western. It's a character study of a man who's lived a long life that he is ready. He's ready to go, and ultimately makes that ultimate sacrifice, the anchor being that he is. And it hits so hard every time. And Professor X's death in this also hurts a lot. Both of them really hurt, but it's such a nice tied bow to end the character of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, which obviously Deadpool and Wolverine came out, but I don't even hate the way that that was handled, truthfully. But I'm glad Logan went the way it did, because I really do think it's a near perfect movie. Which brings me to the only perfect movie in the X-Men, in my opinion, which is X-Men Days of Future Past, which I have ranked a 100 out of 100. At one point, I had lowered this to like a 99 out of 100 a couple years ago. Then it came right back up to a 100 out of 100. I fucking love this movie. Every single thing about it. There's not a single thing I would change about it. I love everything about this movie. It's my favorite. It really is. This is the real reason. Like, this movie is the reason I love the X-Men and this comic as well. It's great. It's really fucking good. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but it's really fucking good. And if I ever recommend an X-Men movie, this is the one. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.